What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Me TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo. Wow, how time flies when you're having fun, right? Y'all, this is the fourth of four that I plan to put out tonight. Okay, then after this, I gotta go to bed because it's late, y'all. But I think I'm gonna stay within my time frame, so we're good, y'all. So the last thing that we're gonna be discussing this night is Love After Lockup, y'all. This is season 5 episodes. I believe it's 32 and 33. I don't have titles for them, y'all. Okay, this is episode 2 and 3 of the newest season. So we just gonna go ahead and get right into it. So we gonna go couple for couple, okay? And I'm going to catch you up on what happened last episode along with what happened this episode. So we're first gonna start off with Z and Troy. So last episode he was supposed to be getting out, right? Once he got released from prison, or they had some static about what was taking so long for him to get released from that prison. Z ended up getting a phone call as she's standing around with her parents and her brother as they're waiting on him to be released. And he's telling her that they're taking him somewhere else. They've never experienced anything like this in the prison for whatever reason. And even the other guards can attest to the fact that this is the first time that they've experienced something like this, where it's taken so long for him to get released, and they're not quite sure what the holdup is. And so once he gets out of jail, he can't even go over to say hi to them or anything. He ends up telling her that he's immediately getting taken into custody again, but this is to go downtown, right? And so he was like, I don't trust what they're doing. Don't let them get away from y'all. And so they end up following behind this police car, and it's sort of kind of like they made it seem like they were going on this makeshift high-speed chase, only for them to end up at the police station so his PO can slap this ankle monitor on him before releasing him into the free world. So he lets us know that he's on parole for another 2.5 years. And y'all, it's been bothering my spirit for the last couple of episodes because I've been trying to figure out who in the hell she looked like. Y'all, she looks like T.I.'s son King with a high ponytail. If you watch Love After Lockup and you put a side by side of her and King together, you can't sit up here and tell me that she don't resemble King, or that King don't favor her because she's older than him. So they end up finally releasing him, and she's so overjoyed. Her parents are overjoyed. This is the moment that they've been praying for, that they've been waiting for. And so they end up praying, and the parents and the brother leave, and so her and her husband can finally spend some quality time together. So they get to the hotel, and it seems like she might have spent more on the damn decorations than on the room itself, because when she is leading him into this room, she's like, okay, keep your eyes closed, babe, keep your eyes closed. Y'all, she done got like the little the decoration that you put over the door, the the little fray that you walk through, that decoration. She done got some balloons to say I love you that go across the bed. And she done got these rose petals, y'all. She done threw the rose petals down on the floor, and then they all on the bed. And I'm just like, you spent $300 where, ma'am? When I could have went down to the dollar store and literally got autumn decorations for $50. Just saying. I feel like the most expensive thing that she probably spent the money on, for real, was the little yoni steamer that she had. Y'all, she wanted him to use a yoni steamer with her. And she was like, oh, this is for you to get all those gel germs off of you, off your privates. And he was like, girl, this is not meant for me nor my butt to pop a squat on. What? This was definitely shaped like a vagina, okay? This is not meant for me to be sitting here. But he went with it. And I was like, girl, if you don't let that man get up under some steaming hot water and let him wash his behind more than once, you better. So So y'all, it was just weird, right? Anyway. So to me, it seems like she's more thirsty to be intimate with him than he is to be with her. And the whole time that they're leading up to whatever intimate time they're going to have, she's praying that like he's well endowed. But if he's not, I'm like, what you going to do? Ask him for a divorce? Girl, you already married to this man. Okay? You done already introduced him to all of your family, and he's hoping that, or if he ain't adopted him already, you hoping that he's going to adopt your son. You gonna divorce him because his penis little? Girl, it's too late. Okay? You done already put way more money and effort into this man than what you should have. You should have just waited to sign off on that marriage certificate after you saw what he was working with, if it's that important to you. So she ends up letting him get in the tub, and he seems like just kind of put off by the cameras a little bit. And then she's doing the most. She was like, baby, I got you a crown for him to put on while he's soaking in the tub first. And then I was like, who the hell soaks in a hotel tub? You can soak in your tub at your house, but a hotel tub? You can't even trust the sheets that you lay on in a hotel. You think that they finna clean them showers like that? So as he's soaking in this hotel tub, y'all, she starts to kiss all on them. They get intimate. We don't see them for the rest of the show. Okay. On to Shante and True. Now, True in the last episode was finally released, and Shante was there with his sister and his niece and nephew. Y'all, they were so cute. Okay. The nephew was real inquisitive. He was asking all the questions. And they finally go out to eat, right? And so after he got released, they went out to eat, and everything just seemed so surreal to him. Everything's changed since he went in. And so he's just trying to, take it all in. And so after they eat, he ends up getting dressed with the clothes that she had brought him. And so he gets dressed, and I'm like, did you at least do a whole bath in the bathroom? Did you clean all the significant parts before you put these clean clothes on? It don't even matter, right? He ain't my man. So after he gets dressed in the bathroom, him and Shante split from his sister, and they go to the adult play store to get some toys, right? And so while he's racking up stuff to try out on Shante, she done stepped outside to talk to her friend about him bringing her there in the first place. And she was like, girl, he must not know me. I don't understand why he bringing me to this store. She's completely out of her element, which I can understand that. If this ain't what you used to, then you getting with somebody that not only has been in jail for 10 plus years, but somebody that is more liberated when it comes to their sexuality and them trying out things on their partner, that can be very off-putting. So she's talking to her friend, and she's like, I don't know why he brought me here in the first place. He must not know me. Yeah, he wouldn't know you because you ain't never went up to the jail to talk to him, to see him. The only thing that he know about you is that you was sending him pictures. That's about it, ma'am. And whatever else y'all discussed on the phone, but clearly it wasn't anything that, was deep when it comes to sexuality and how you wanted to be handled when he got out. But anyway, she ends up telling us that she's solely living off her savings. And as she's saying this, y'all, he is steady more adding to her debt. He ended up spending like $200 in the Play Store. Then she spent more money because she had rented this Airbnb, and I could see if she rented it for a few days. Y'all, she ended up renting the Airbnb for a whole week. So they could kind of, get to know each other and fill each other out, see what the chemistry was hitting for before she took him back to her house to live with her and her kids. So once they get to the Airbnb, the idea of an Airbnb is like new to him. He ain't never heard of people renting out their homes. He was like, what if it's cameras in here? And I was like, yeah, that's a really good question. But I mean, they do have surveillance cameras on the outside. Hopefully ain't nobody that pervy to where they got him on the inside like that. But you know, it is what it is. And so she's been wrestling mentally about if she was ready to be intimate with him. And I'm not sure when she caught her last body, okay? But if it's been a long time, then she might feel uncomfortable, especially since she has experienced sexual assault prior to them being intimate. And so if she hasn't experienced any love after the sexual assault thing, then, you know, this may be very uncomfortable for her. But True, he is ready to get it in. Okay. He done spent all his money at the Play Store. He ready to try out some of these toys on her. And eventually she lets her nerves settle enough for them to end the night the way that True wanted. But when she wakes up the next morning, y'all, he's gone. So it turns out he done went with his sister to hang out. And he didn't let Shante know where he was going. So she's calling him, blowing up his phone, and he's straight up ignoring her calls, okay, screening her calls. But that's because he don't feel like he have to answer to her. He free now. And I was like, are you though? So he talked to his sister about the gripes that he has about Shante. And to him, for him, Shante don't have enough confidence, okay? She got a smart mouth, and then we get this clip of him asking her the previous night, did she want to go to the casino or did she want to go to the mall? What does she want to do? And initially, she's ignoring him, and so he asked her again, did she want to go to the casino? And then he brought up the mall. He was like, is the mall still open? And she was like, no, it's not. Like, that's exactly how she talked to him. And so he just rolled his eyes and was like, oh my God, you know. So both of them are just acting real childish. Like, she's ignoring him. And then he's just, I don't understand why some of these inmates that get out don't realize how much has already been sacrificed in the name of them, like for them. Shante done spent all this money on him, just maintaining the time that they could talk on the phone, maintaining his commissary. Then she done got these clothes and stuff. She done rented this Airbnb. He done went to the toy store, done racked up all this money for him, for his sexual pleasure. And I'm just like, she probably is ignoring you, and she probably didn't respond because she broke. She don't have no money to keep putting into you. If you go to the mall, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I want that. Well, whose money, sir? Well, whose card, sir? It's not going to be yours. How you going to get to the casino with only $30, $40 in your pocket, bruh? Like, for real, like spending. I mean, and she may have more than that, but she got more important things to worry about when she get back home. Her kids got to be straight, you know? Can't just be spending money out here when I done spent all this money on you already. Whose money we gonna be spending? Mine. So I was just like, True. And so he continues on by saying that she's a homebody and that he don't want to solely rely on her for her to do everything for him, because eventually he knows that she's probably gonna throw that back up in his face. And so he knows what he needs to get done. Like, he know that he needs to go get his birth certificate and his social security card and all that, so he can try to get a job, you know, so he won't have to rely on Shante, because it's just going to be another added stressor between them, and it's not going to end well. So his sister got him some jewelry, okay? And I was just like, girl, she pulling out the jewelry while they sitting down finna get ready to eat. And I'm just like, girl, you spent money on this jewelry, but did you help him find a job? Did you help him secure a job before you went to the mall to buy him all this bling? And she was like, yeah, I know my brother liked to be flashy. And so, you know, I just got him a little bit of something. Girl, you need to be getting him a job. or at least the connections to do so. And then what was up with the damn rag that he had wrapped around his hand? That was bothering me. I was like, True, ain't nobody out here banging like that no more, bro. You can put that down. Like, I don't know if it just speaks to how childish he, like, I don't know. Like, in some instances, True is very straightforward and he's able to um communicate his thoughts and stuff well, but in other instances I'm just like, how old are we, 5? So when him and his sister leave from, I guess, going to go eat, he mentions how he used to talk to this girl named Tisha, but she just up and disappeared on him, and so he don't know where she at, but they was talking, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna eventually pop back up again. But he free now, so ain't nothing stopping him from going to go see her or talk to her if she decides to come back into the picture. So then he finally comes back to the house, and Shante is pissed. She wants to know where he's been because he's been ignoring her phone calls all day, and he tells her that he went out shopping with his sister. And so, of course, she don't believe him because she's insecure like that. And he called her and confirms, he calls his sister. And she confirms that they've been hanging out today. And I was like, I know the sister didn't really see it for her like that, but somebody could at least say, hey, girl, we finna get ready to leave out. We'll be back. And so he comes right out and calls Shante boring and a boring homebody. But she says that she don't really know nobody where they at right now. So, of course, she not going to want to do nothing but hang out with him. And in the same token, I'm just like, okay, maybe even if she is boring, maybe even if she is a homebody, because I'm a homebody too. If she don't know nobody, she not going to want to go nowhere. But in the same token, Shante needs to realize that he going to want to see and do everything because he just got out. Okay. So that's to be expected of him. And he wants her to communicate with him more. And she tells him that she's been calling him for the past 8 hours. So she was like, if you let that shit happen again, I'm going to cut your line off. Just like that. And so he clocks it real quick and says that it's a control factor for her. Which it probably is. I mean, in jail, she knew where he was 24/7. Okay. She didn't have to wait on him to look at the phone to see if, he would pick up or not. And so now that he's out, he's got way more freedom. And I don't understand why a lot of these folks don't realize that. Like, you ain't looked at no past seasons to kind of glimpse into the future like That's So Raven to see what your future gonna look like with these inmates. Not saying that all of them are the same, but they have more freedom, and so they can pick and choose when they want to entertain you at this point. So I just I don't know. If she gonna keep spending her money on him, he gonna have to either get with it or not. And if not, then you need to be okay with walking away, Shante. And so then he done been out all day with his sister. Okay. He waits till the last minute to try to go down to the parole office because he was supposed to go check in with his parole officer that morning. So then when he get down there, he go in there. He wants her to come with him. And she was like, no, I'm not coming. You're going to have to do that by yourself. And so he goes in there. Y'all, the parole officer ain't even there no more. And so they tell him to keep calling back, I guess, to check in. And so he get back in the car and he's upset because he feels like this is a full-time job with him trying to track down his parole officer. And so she was like, can I just get out the car? Can you take the mic off of me? Because I'm dealing with an idiot right now. If True would have did what she had said to do, which was check in with his parole officer earlier in the day, and then they can go play. Like, take care of your responsibilities first. If you would have took care of your responsibilities first and then did what you wanted to do, then you might not be in this predicament. But instead, you choose to risk your freedom by not doing what you're supposed to do as far as checking in with your parole officer. So now you got to try to play cat and mouse with this lady trying to find her, but you're just so nonchalant about it. You think that if you don't find her, if you don't call, that she just gonna magically show up at your door. If she show up at your door, she gonna violate you. And you gonna end up right back in jail. Keep playing with your freedom like that if you want to. So that's all we see from them. Shante is getting fed up with him. So then we go over to Julian, who is 46, and Christine, who is 38. We got introduced to them in the last episode. They're in West Virginia somewhere, and he is a marketing project manager, and she went to jail for armed bank robbery, and she got 5.5 years, y'all. Basically 6 years. And so Julian had found Christine when he was working on like one of his little side hobbies of making like this documentary of people on death row and in the prison system. And he found her because she was locked up. That's it. And so she is telling us that she was with this guy who got her strung out on drugs real bad. Okay, she needed funds, but they were broke. And so she Googled how to rob a bank. Or he told her how to rob the bank or something like that. He gave her the idea to rob the bank. And so she said that she had went into the bank, y'all, and because she was given the instructions that she didn't have to bring a gun, she just wrote notes to the tellers. And so once she did it the first time and she got away with it, she was like, oh my God, this actually worked. She went back again and again. But that third time, they was like, girl, 3 strikes and you out. You finna go to jail. Okay. So she ended up getting basically 6 years in jail for robbery. But she didn't have a gun. So I don't know why they put the armed robbery on there. But either way, she been in jail, right? So Julian been waiting on her to get out since they connected while he was doing his documentary, y'all. And he gives us his body count in the last episode. He said that he had only slept with 2 people, 2 women aside from Christine. One was his ex that he was high school sweethearts with, and then the second one was his ex-wife. Okay. And so Christine is gonna be the third girl. And he knows that it's pretty cliche for a good guy like him to be attracted to this bad girl, but he really does love her and her kitty cat. I think his name is Chucky. Okay. I was like, he got red hair like Chucky. And so he goes to pick her up, and y'all, she is all over him. Okay, she jumped on him. They end up falling in the grass and rolling down the hill. She is very in love with him, and she can't wait to have some alone time with him. She gonna eat him up. Okay, and so we can tell that she still has lifelong lasting effects from her previous years of drug use, because y'all, her mouth has a mind of its own. Okay, she is definitely doing the Bobby Brown on him. So aside from that, y'all, and a possible drug issue resurfacing, they genuinely do seem to be into each other and care about each other. So that's always hopeful, right? So Christine gets her phone back from him, and she ends up reading a message from her mom about how she needs to turn herself in. And this is like right before she got caught, right? And so her mom had sent her a message telling her how she needed to turn herself in. And she gives us this backstory of her and her mom's very estranged relationship. And she said that she was raised by her grandmother majority of her childhood until she was 11 years old. And then that's when her mom decided that she wanted to step back into the picture and take custody of her. But at that particular point in time, Christine didn't really want to go live with her. Okay. She had already picked up the vibe that her mom didn't want nothing to do with her. And so she didn't want nothing to do with her mom in exchange. But she did. And I guess she went to go live with her. And when she got back, like I said, Christine didn't really want nothing to do with her. So she tells us that when she finally did reach out to her mom, when she realized that she was like heavily involved in drug use and she needed some help to try to get herself out of this predicament, she reached out to her mom. And instead of her mama supporting her like she was expecting her to do, try to get her some help or try to send her to a rehab facility or something like that, y'all, her mama ended up calling DCS on her to get her kids taken away. And so when she called DCS, I think she said her mom got custody of her kids. She's got twins. And so even though she has visitation rights, her ex has not allowed her to see her kids in over 8 years. So before she even got locked up. She was not allowed to see her kids. And I do get it to a certain extent. You want to protect your kids from anything harmful that may negatively impact their lives, like i.e. their mom using drugs or, being unstable as far as coming in and out of their lives. You don't want to expose your kids to stuff like that, but in the same token, that's their mama. And if she's not physically like threatening them or harming them in any type of way, I don't see why you would deny her the access to her kids unless it was like that detrimental. But either way, her and her mom having a strange relationship, and Julian is going to try to help her try to get her kids back, or at least on a more permanent basis. And so they end up, of course, finally making their way to the hotel, and she gets cleaned up. And I was like, okay, is this a dress? No, it's supposed to be a teddy, y'all. So they end up getting in the bed, and thankfully they cut the scene before we could see anything that might permanently scar our eyes. It seems like the only person that wanted to watch their naughty time was Chucky. So we gonna let him have it, okay? So over to Kim and Joey, y'all. Kim mentions how she had went out. We go back to the last episode where Joey had called her and was like, somebody had called me and said that they saw you out at the club, okay? Seen me down on 24th Street with some other cats. Shout out to Jill. And so she was like, baby, that's a lie, okay? Yes, I had went out the other night and I had took a picture with my homeboy from way back when, but it was an innocent picture. And they actually did show us the picture, and it didn't look like it was nothing shady happening there. And so she wasn't all up on them like this Ashley girl claimed that she was. And I'm like, who is this Ashley girl? Is that really her name? Who is it? And so then they go back and forth about who this random person is that's trying to sabotage the relationship. Nothing actually ever comes from it, okay? But she does deny that she's been messing around with anybody. Anyway, Kim goes to the nail shop to prepare for her man's release, and this is her cousin's nail shop. And so she gets there, and her cousin is working on her nails, and she feels like now's the time for her to reveal that her and Joey are not only together, but they're actually engaged. And her cousin is like, girl, what are you doing? Joey? My ex Joey? The one that took my virginity, Joey? That Joey? Oh, wow. Okay, girl. We find out, y'all, that this is not Kim's first time doing her cousin dirty. Y'all, apparently, like I said, after Joey had took her cousin's virginity, Kim had slept with Joey, knowing that Joey and her cousin had all this back history, right? And so I was like, damn, with family like that hanging off your tree, you definitely don't need enemies, okay? But the cousin, she didn't feel like messing up her cuticles today. She had no other choice but to let Kim make her own decisions. And the only thing she could do was just advise her to be careful. Because we know that Joey was heavy on them opioids, okay? Do you really want to subject your kids to somebody like that? Do you want your kids to see somebody going in and out of their life like that, girl? You need to think hard, and you need to think carefully about the decisions that you're finna make. So we then find out that in her state, you have to be legally separated for at least a year before you can file for a divorce or get married to somebody else. I think that's what she said in the last episode. So Kim's got a few more months to make this thing last. All right. So she finally arrives at the cabin that she's renting for a few days to mentally prepare herself for Joey coming home. And she's very self-conscious about her appearance since the last time that they hooked up. I think she said the last time that they hooked up was back in 2018. And so this was pre-babies. Okay. Now I can say that that first kid, yeah, you might be able to snap back. That second kid, it's going to take a little bit more effort. Okay. And sometimes it just don't snap back like it's supposed to. And that's okay. But I guess if Joey is in it for the long haul, he gonna love her regardless, right? But she does have those insecurities about her body. So she's not quite sure how he's going to feel about it. But like I said, if he in it for the long haul, you ain't got to worry about that. You got bigger fish to fry out here, okay? Than be worried about a few extra pounds of cushion for the pushing. So the next morning, she woke up and she said that she must have been so anxious about him getting out. Y'all, she got nauseous and threw up. She's the second person that done threw up this season. And she's just so concerned about how he's going to do once he gets released. More so if he's going to tiptoe back into drug use, because her boys are involved now. They're heavily invested in Joey being a good guy. And so she got him a phone. And so she ends up turning on the location, like the share location on his phone. And y'all, she even went as far as to get air tags. So I guess like put off in his bags so she can keep further tabs on him. I was like, now, if you got to go through all of that, honey, you might as well not even be with him. Again, that's a controlling thing. But if he gonna use drugs, girl, he will find a way. And no amount of air tags or sharing locations or you popping out when he finna get ready to do wrong. Like, is the bat signal gonna go out every time he tries to go score some drugs or every time he talks to another woman? Or I don't understand. If he don't want to be with you, girl, he will find a way to be with somebody else. Or if he want to use drugs, he will find a way. There's no amount of saving him that you can do if he wants to do that. So she stresses how he's never been faithful to anyone, but she's hopeful that he has changed for the better. If he cheated on your cousin with you after he took her virginity, I'm just gonna leave it there. And so he finally gets released and she's hoping that he's ready to be a full-time dad. And again, y'all, I'm just like, girl, why are you putting all these heavy expectations on him when he wasn't even ready to be a full-time adult? You want him to be a full-time dad to your 2 boys, but he wasn't ready to be a full-time adult to himself. He couldn't even take care of himself. But you want your boys to rely on him? Kim is just expecting too much out of him way too early, okay? So he gets out, and of course, they love on each other, and he ends up FaceTiming his mama, and he tells us how he had a pretty good life growing up until he was about the age of a teenager, and that's when he started hanging out with the wrong people, but he's ready to get his life together, and he's really grateful for Kim, and he just loves her so, so much. Oodles and oodles of love to give out. And we don't see them for the rest of the episode, y'all. On to Tisha and Keith. Now, Tisha is at the spa, enjoying herself, getting rubbed down, okay? And she ends up getting a phone call from Keith, and she plans to get all his family together to announce his release. And she brings up the one sister that she's got bad blood with, and he suggests that maybe she should wait to have that conversation until he gets out and he's able to have a conversation with his sister first. And so apparently this sister is pissed at the fact that Tisha had went into his account and used $15,000 out of his account to buy her ring. And she basically feels like his sister is a hater. Okay. But, sisters and family members always think that their family member, significant other sometimes is not good enough when they initially meet them. So I don't know, Tisha. So he was like, let me handle her. Let me talk to her first and get a grip on her first. And then you can try to smooth things out with her. But Tisha gonna do what she gonna do. And so she ends up reaching out to her to try to extend an olive branch. And we don't see a response. Okay. And I'm just like, later on in the episode, we start to see all of his family members come over. It don't seem like it's too many. I think his aunt was there, his dad was there. I don't know if that was his mom or his stepmom or maybe another aunt, but it was another older lady there on his behalf from his family, and then I believe maybe his daughter, but she's like grown now. And so they started to come over, and I'm like, okay, I was under the notion that he was going to be here for said party, but then when he wasn't there, and she announced that he was getting released any day now, I was like, why in the hell are we having this party in the first place? Y'all, she done got pizza and wings and all this other stuff. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, black people will find a reason to have a party just because. I just wanted to call y'all over here to announce that he's going to be getting released anytime soon. Okay, girl, you could have picked up the phone and just called me for that. You didn't even have to call me. You could have sent me a text from that. We could have Zoomed. We could have three-wayed. We could have did anything else but waste my time by coming over here and eating some of this stupid pizza just for you to tell me that my son was getting out, which I probably already. And then I was like, do they not already be having conversations with Keith? Are we really just putting this on for the show? Because there's no way that you can't tell me that he's not had a conversation with his dad, at least, to let his dad know that, hey, they done changed the rules and regulations on some of these laws, so I'm probably going to be getting out within the next couple of weeks. You can't tell me that he hadn't had a conversation with his family. You the only person that he been going through to relay all of his messages to his family members. I don't buy that. And so she ends up having this party to announce his release. And then when the family come over, the family is just now meeting her girls. But they've been married for more than 2 years. I think she said they've been married for what, three or 4 years? Why is his family just now meeting your girls? But you so in love, my man, my man, my man. And it don't seem like, the people that came over had a very strained relationship with him. So I don't see why they haven't met the girls before. So she ends up, yeah, that's it, y'all. Oh, and then like in the confessional, she talking cash money because the sister apparently never showed up. And again, I can't even worry about what's coming out of her mouth because I'm too focused on her hair. She got these damn antennas flying again, y'all. Nobody loved her enough. His aunt didn't love her enough to smooth her hair down. Her oldest girl didn't care about her enough to comb it out. The youngest girl didn't feel like being smart enough to say, hey, mama, your hair flying. I just can't. So I guess she feel like because the sister didn't show up, apparently this confirms that the sister was talking cash money about her behind her back. And so when she see her, it's not on sight, but she's definitely going to have words for her. That's it. So then we go to Arthur and Hope. So last week when Arthur got out, of course, Miss V was there. And she was upset because she had to wait on Hope for hours on end to get there. She showed up 2 hours late. And so once he got out, they went to go sit down at a restaurant somewhere. And Miss V was saying how she don't really see it for Hope. Okay. She ends up asking her where they going to be sleeping at tonight. And Arthur was like, I'm going to be sleeping with Hope in the truck. And she was like, y'all going to be sleeping in the truck? See, this is why I want my son to come back to Vegas with me. And so then her and Hope get into it because Hope feels like his mom has not been there to financially support him since he's been locked up this last time. And his mama lets Hope know, girl, you better stay in your place because I got other things that I need to worry about besides this one son. He's got brothers and sisters that I'm responsible for, and this is not his first time being locked up. And so I do put money on his books, but I don't have enough money to keep coming down here and flying to see him on visitation days once a week. So even though you may have the time and the money to do that, I don't, because I have other people depending on me. Yeah, we haven't had the best relationship, and yeah, I may have messed up. I may have made some mistakes in the past when it comes to raising him and him feeling like he's not being supported. But that's always my son, and I'm always going to have his best interests at heart, and I'm always going to love him, whether you hear or not, ma'am. And so she wants her son to come back home with her because his siblings have not seen him in years. And I'm like, okay, he's grown though. So whose fault is that? Because as easily as you can come down here to see him, I'm pretty sure you could find a way to go see your siblings. But she wants him to come back with her, but he chooses love, and so he wants to stay with Hope. And so he lets his mom know that he felt away because she was absent. Or at least he felt like she was absent this last time that he was in jail. And they used to be really, really tight. Like, I think she said that he's her oldest. And so they've had a very, very close relationship. But once I don't know if she remarried or once she got with the next man and started to have more kids by him, their relationship got strained. And he did feel like he was the redheaded stepchild. Okay. Because she was treating him differently. And then, of course, it doesn't help once he gets to jail or once he starts hanging out with the wrong crowd and then he gets locked up. And then, the difference starts to be magnified all the more, right? And so he expresses all of those things to her, and they get up and they hug each other, and she apologizes for anything that she did wrong in their relationship and how he presently feels about her. And she says that she's going to do better. And so she asked him again, are you coming back with me to Vegas or are you staying here with her? And so he was like, I'm choosing Hope. I'm going to be here. And, this is my girl. And so she lets them be. And she says that she'll meet up with them tomorrow sometime. And so later on, when they're in the car, or in the truck, excuse me, because y'all, she pulled up in her truck. Arthur mentions that he don't want to sleep in the cab truck tonight because it's hot as hell in there. Now, I don't know if she plans on having a truck running. I don't know how any of that works. I don't know if it's got a separate AC unit in the back to where if the truck is cut off, the AC unit will still blow. I don't know if she got like fans back there that use battery. I don't know what's going on back there, but he was like, babe, it's hot as hell up here in the front with the AC on. I can only imagine what it's going to be back here in our love shack. Okay. It's too hot. I don't feel comfortable about staying back there tonight. And so now she's pissed because she feels like he would have never brought this up had his mom not brought it up. You would have never said nothing like this. You was so content about sleeping back here in the back with me tonight. And now you got a problem because your mama said something. That's how she feels. But then I was like, why would you want him to sleep in the cab of your truck when you got a whole house? Because she was like, okay, well, if you feel like you don't want to, sleep in the cab truck tonight, then I guess we just got to go to the house. And I was like, I guess you just gonna casually mention that in conversation that you got a whole apartment? What? So you would rather sleep in this hot ass cab in the back of your truck when you got a whole house and a whole bed that he can rock you to sleep in, that y'all got more wiggle room in, that you can roll around in a little bit more? Man, make it make sense. She crazy. Like, what? And if you did sleep in the cab truck and y'all did play around in the sheets, I mean, that's like a guaranteed on both of y'all's ends at this point, because y'all both done expressed how much y'all ready for each other. But like, when y'all did mess around, where would y'all even clean up and shower at? Like at a truck stop where you got to get a ticket and wait your turn in line? Girl, this is foolishness. And so once he steps out of the cab, before they get into her car to go home to her house, he yelled out real loud that he free. And I was like, damn, this is awful, because we already know that he's back in there. So by the time he get out this time, y'all, I feel like he gonna have a whole damn food pyramid filled in with the daily servings and all of that. And that little triangle he got going on his forehead. I need to go to bed. So once they get to her house, you know, he's emotionally overwhelmed just a little bit, because she done got him a sewing machine, because he's expressed to her in the past that he wanted to be a designer. And I think he was even doing some stuff while he was locked up or whatever. And so to us in her confessional, she expresses her concerns about her body insecurities because she no longer looks like she did 6 years ago. And so she's not sure how Arthur is going to receive that, you know, all the things, right, that girls think about. And so the next morning, they apparently had a really good night. He wasn't concerned about any extra cushion for the pushing. Okay, he still enjoyed himself. He did get a little tired out a little easier than he thought he would, but it was still a good night overall. 10's in his book. And so the next morning when they wake up, she's asking him randomly about, after she apologizes, you know, about her sleeping around the first time that he had went in and agreeing to that, and she doesn't want to do that anymore, and she just wants to be with him. And so she wants to do everything right this time. So then she randomly brings up the fact that he doesn't have a tattoo of her on his body anywhere. And so then she tells us that she had gave him $300 for him to get a tattoo of her via portrait, like facial portrait, or I don't know, her name somewhere as a semblance of his love for her. But he ended up telling her that he got a rose. And she was like, you just got a rose? What is the rose supposed to signify? And he was like, my love. And she was like, oh yeah, your love. Who's supposed to know that rose is me? You're supposed to have my whole face on you so I can claim my territory. And so then she gets out the bed, and y'all, she continues to be pissed at him as she's cooking breakfast or whatever the case may be in the kitchen. And she tells him how her friends have been calling her stupid and she's foolish because she ended up giving him this $300 so he can get this tattoo. And in my head, I'm thinking, girl, did you send him the $300 while he was in prison with the expectation that he was going to get a prison tattoo of your face on his body, versus you waiting for him to get out and then give him the money to go get the tattoo, or where you can go with him while he gets said tattoo? I don't know. I mean, it's all stupid to me. I just feel like once you get those types of tattoos, you are doomed for y'all to break up, okay? And so she's got this big old tattoo of his nickname on her. It's man, and I think it's probably on her leg somewhere or something like that, because it looked like she had on that same cheap ass Temu dress that she had on in the episode. So I'm gonna assume that it's on her leg somewhere. But either way, y'all, she got this tattoo and he didn't, and so now she's pissed. And I'm just like, okay, you concerned about $300 when you've admitted that you spent thousands and thousands upon dollars on him, but you don't feel foolish for that? And you're still concerned about his mama coming in to swoop in and take him with her when she goes back to Vegas at any moment now, because he ended up getting a text from his mama. And his mama is wanting to meet up with him, you know, try to spend some time with her son before she go back home. He done clearly said that he's staying with Hope. And he tells Hope again that he wants to stay with her, even as he's going to go meet with his mama. And so she's just like, I don't know. Maybe his mama is going to convince him to go back with her. Well, apparently if she does, baby, then maybe y'all just wasn't meant for it. Maybe y'all love ain't as strong as you thought it was, Hope. And honestly, in this situation, maybe you just do need to let him go. Because ain't no way that you can expect him to have a job out here with that big ass tattoo on his head. Not saying that he wouldn't be able to find one, but his chances have definitely slimmed because of said tattoo. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. Wow, that was really almost an hour. Y'all, I love y'all, okay? I hope you guys stay safe out there. I hope you guys enjoy your week. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday fun day. If you don't have to get up in the morning, y'all be safe out there, okay? I love y'all, and until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.